Welcome back to our podcast, the Simmons Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything. If this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoy the show and you like, subscribe, follow, or whatever it is you do to keep track of when we release our new shows. Today, we're going to be talking about Shane and Ryland and their babies. It's really nobody's concern about what's going on. The reason I'm talking about this today is I've seen a few people on YouTube talking about, negative stuff about them. Like once was about Shane not protecting his babies. I didn't fully watch the videos because it's just something that's not our problem. That is Ryland and Shane's responsibility. That's their life. They want to share it with us. Awesome, great. I've watched Shane since he started YouTube years ago. And he's had a few videos on there that nowadays are not, something to be proud of. And he's apologized numerous times. He's deleted them. It's not our place to sit here and judge what he does. Yes, he's a big YouTuber. He's well known, this, that, and everything else, and the same with Ryland. So how they raise their kids is how they raise them. I'm sure they've got the best of intentions of doing the right thing. Like I've mentioned in one of my other videos, I'm in my 40s, so I'm not too keen on this cancel or woke or whatever culture that people are going around saying. So, it's in the past. He's done his thing. He's apologized for it. Just, let him try to start over fresh, which he is. Ryland's got his podcast, The Silp. Shane's got him a new podcast called the Shane Dawson Podcast. I forgot what he calls it, whatever the hell this is, or something like that. He's trying. They're both trying. What we see behind closed doors is something that happens behind closed doors. What we don't see behind closed doors is their doing. What they project to us is what we see. So you can go around and do your assumptions, your predictions, your guessing, whatnot. It might not be true. It might be true, but we will truly never know unless evidence comes out that he's back to his old ways, which I don't think Shane is going to do that. I've been listening to his new podcast. So in his new podcasting, it's like he's trying to better his life, trying to get out and do what he loves. He also has his channel back up where he does conspiracy theories and this, that, and everything else. So the way I was raised is that just mind your own business. If it doesn't concern you, don't go out and put your nose into something that doesn't belong. Because if you go out and put your nose where it doesn't belong, then you're going to be finding out stuff that you really don't want to find out, like stuff actually being true and you were wrong. And And I know people nowadays, it's different than the way I was raised back in the 80s. There's so many people out there nowadays being Karens or Kevins or Kens, whatever they're called. People think that just because it's their opinion, they're right. In reality, no, you're not. This culture, I say culture, I'm trying to think of the correct term. The way we were raised is different than the way people are raised nowadays. It's all because of technology. People get online and try to act all big and bad and think they're right. And then when they get out in the real world, they try to think nothing applies to them, so that they can get away with everything, which is not the case. So just live your life your way. Don't butt into other people's business. You don't like something, just keep your mouth shut. It's that easy. You don't like that a gay couple is raising twin boys, then don't like it. That's your opinion. But you ain't got to go out and try to convince 500,000 people in the world that you're right when it's your opinion. Which, I'm sure that's not what people are trying to do. But you see what I'm trying to say here. And I just keep repeating myself. Stay out of other people's business, and you'll have a whole lot better life. Mind your business. I'm trying to think of, I know there's a show out there, or it might be a skit. It says, mind your business. Just mind your business. And that's exactly it. Just mind your business. Be happy for them or don't. Yes, that's your choice. But it's just this world we're living in now. People think they're right about everything. So let's kind of, step away from that, because I've pretty much said my piece about Shane Dawson and Ryland and their babies and everybody's feedback about that. Mind your business. Stay out of their life. What they share with us, great. But I do want to kind of stay on the subject of, cancel, woke, or, whatever. People going around saying that they're offended by this, offended by that. You know what? No one really cares. So just stop. You're destroying our history. I've seen so many people offended over a statue, that the statue gets torn down. People are offended because of a black woman on a syrup bottle, so they remove her. People are offended because there's an Indian on the butter box. She got removed. Is your life better now that all this stuff is done? I'm sure it's not. I'm sure you're out finding other things to be offended about. And I'm sure that this being my second podcast, I probably won't get many people returning because of this. And you know what? That's totally fine. You're not hurting my feelings. This is my podcast. I want to share my thoughts, opinions, on whatever topic I feel like it. Good. Don't come back. If you do come back, thank you for returning. I hope you enjoy everything. Not every podcast is going to be like this. It's just what's going on right now that has caught my eye. And I just want to, everybody's got their opinion, so I'm going to put my opinion out there, because I was raised the way I was raised. Another thing that people are having a hard time with nowadays is this LGBTQ, or whatever, they're called gay, lesbian, bisexual, queer, all that. Just let them live their lives. Are they bothering you? No. Are they forcing you to be gay or queer or whatever? I'm sure they're not. They're just out living their lives like you are. So why do you gotta, be all rude and try to say, oh, you can't live that way. The Bible says it this way. You know what? The Bible was written thousands of years ago. Things have changed. So, yeah, I read the Bible. I study the Bible. Yeah, it says in there that it's wrong, but it also says love thy neighbor. So just let them live their lives. You did what you were put here to do. You told them about God. You told them, that being that way was wrong. Okay, that's their life to choose. Let them live it. You done did your part. Just drop it, okay? It's just, that's what they choose. They're happy. Just let them be. You're happy, right? Probably not if you're out running the streets, being a Karen or a Kevin. What is the male version of a Karen? I've heard Kevin and Ken. So, but I guess that's just the world we're living in now. Is people want to try to run everybody else's lives besides their own. It's horrible. We've got people, going around saying they identify as this, they identify as that. Well, good for them. That's what makes them happy. Let them. Okay, I identify as a multi-millionaire radio DJ that lives in Australia. But is it true? No. But if that's what I want to believe, let me. You don't have to go around and try to say, oh, well, no, you can't do that. That's not right. God only made a boy and a girl. Yeah, that's true. But if, let's say, Jane over here wants to identify as a cat and Jacob wants to identify as a parakeet, is that bothering you? Is that just ruin your day? No. If it did, then I'm guessing you got one sad life that you need to go around and criticize people that is just trying to live a happy life. So, I guess in conclusion, is if somebody's life is making your life miserable, then just stay away from them. People's lives don't revolve around you. So if Shane and Ryland are happy with their twins, just stay away from them if that makes you upset. If somebody wants to identify as a cat or a bird, stay away from them. It's that simple. Live by the saying, keep your nose out of other people's business, and you'll be happy. But we all know that people can't be happy without trying to ruin somebody's life. Somebody's off minding their own business, being happy, and here comes a Karen or a Ken saying, they can't do that because they're happy, and Karen and Ken are upset about it. So, in short, just mind your own business and leave people alone. So, yeah. So, in further episodes, we're going to try to be, longer, more, in depth with stuff. This is my second podcast, trying to get back out there. We're going to be working on trying to get the audio and video together. But, like my first podcast talking about being lazy and procrastinating, start off simple. Just start off with one step at a time. As we come to an end of this show, we want to remind you that if you have comments or suggestions about something, feel free to contact us, and we will see what we can do. We hope that you enjoyed this podcast. I'm sure some people won't be happy because they're Karens and Kens and they don't agree with nobody, and so that's fine. If you returned, thank you so much. We would like to remind you to like, subscribe, follow, or whatever you do to keep track of when our new shows are released. And one thing we're going to probably do every episode is this right here. As Jim Carrey says in The Truman Show,
in case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Thanks for joining us, and until next time.